Welcome to the Unleashed podcast. If you're looking for a no BS approach to building a successful business, then this show's for you. I'm your host, Kristina Sjolund, sharing an unleashed, real straight talk approach to life and business. So buckle up, put on your big girl panties, and let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the Unleashed podcast. I'm your host, Kristina Sjolund, and I thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to me. And today, I promise that what I'm going to bring to you today, by the end of this podcast, you're going to have a better understanding of what you need to focus on in your life. Now, this is going to be different than most of the other ones that I have done. Let me share with you the inspiration of where this podcast came from. So in the past week, like I told you before, I get so many messages every week from many of you listeners. You've sent me these messages that sometimes they bring these tears to my eyes that I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to look up, because if I don't, these tears are going to drip down my face. The messages are amazing of how they have touched you in some way, but two in particular this past week. And you'll both know who you are when you're listening to this. So, one, this friend of mine, she's a teacher. She brought my podcast to her students. And she was telling me about these students and how they were stressed out because it's the end of the trimester and they've got their tests and, you know, the anxiety of all of this. And I remember as a student, I know it was a really long time ago, but I remember as a student all of that stress. And I also have two young girls at home who they experience stress as well. Then I got another message from another friend of mine saying how she wants her daughter to be listening to this podcast. And she's, I think, about 13 years old, 14 maybe. And she says she wants her daughter to listen to it because she thinks that it would help her. And I'm going to share her story at the end. I am going to have to ask you to forgive me if I get emotional during this podcast, because this one was a cool one to write down my notes for. I am just being very honest with you, but the inspiration that came from it, I guess you can apply this to business, because the way that I see it is business and life really intertwine. I know it does for me. And so I think that there's these lessons or these things that I talk about today can really work throughout all of your life. And honestly, at any age, because if you can share this, this is going to be the kind of podcast that you're going to be able to listen in the car with your kids. You're going to be able to share with, it doesn't matter if they're 8 or if they're, 21. You can share this one because this is different. And you know what? I'm just going to say right now, if you can give me feedback of what you got from this after you're done listening to it, I would appreciate it, because it's different and I loved putting this one together. What happened between those two messages that I got this week and a message that I saw from Gary Vee, if anybody who knows me, they know that I absolutely love listening to Gary Vee. I don't let my daughters listen to him very often. If you know Gary Vee, you know why. But he says, stop worrying about what you're not and start focusing on who you are. So every person has a message. Some may not know it yet. Some know it as kids. And some people, like myself, didn't really know what the message was that they carried in them and that passion that they had until maybe I was way into my 40s when I learned this about myself. So here's the deal. I don't care if you're 8 or if you're 88. You have something valuable inside of you. Don't let somebody else put a wet blanket on your fire. Parents, don't tell your kids that a goal is dumb or that it can't be reached. I remember I know that I shared this story before. I remember wanting to go to massage school, and I was told, you'll never make it because you have to know all of the muscles and bones. You wouldn't be able to remember all of that. Wow. Okay. So I didn't go to massage school. I became an esthetician instead. But here I am. That's the path that I took. But don't ever tell your kids that they can't do something as far as goals go. Kids, don't listen to your parent when they tell you that you can't reach a goal. All right? Now, do what they say when they tell you to clean your room. All right? Danica, my oldest daughter, she wants a Lamborghini. Did I say no? Nope. Will I buy her one? Nope. What did I tell her? I told her that she could absolutely get one, and it'll take a lot of work, but absolutely she can do it if she makes a plan and executes it. Does everyone have the confidence? No. Well, I take that back. You have it in you, but for some people, it just hasn't come out yet, but it's there. And we're all born fearless. Watch a baby. They could walk straight off of a ledge because they have no fear. They have nothing. How many times have you seen a baby going towards the stairs? They're not afraid. They have zero fear. Even when that baby falls down, it doesn't even faze them. They get right back up. Wouldn't that be awesome if we did that as we got older and we were fearless? How much could we accomplish at what young age? You know, when you're 9 and somebody makes fun of you and you don't want to go to school because you're afraid of those people, those bullies, wouldn't it be awesome if you truly knew that that kid or kids who made fun of you were really the ones who had the issues and not you? That they are the ones with the insecurities? What about when you're 13 and you fail that history test and you feel like it's the end of the world? You don't want to go home because mom and dad are going to be mad. Wouldn't it be fantastic if you knew at that moment that that F that you got on that history test doesn't define you or your future? How about when you're 21? You get your first credit card and you go crazy with it, not realizing that the credit card company preys on people like you. And that credit card company makes you pay 27% interest rate, and you can't pay that credit card off. That credit card ruins your credit. Wouldn't it be great if you knew at 21 that there is life after bad credit? That doesn't define you for the rest of your life? Let's talk to the adults for a second. When you've been married, started your family, you have a home, and all of a sudden, all of that comes crashing down and ends in a divorce. Wouldn't it be great if you knew in that moment that there's an amazing life possible after that? I'm proof. Did I know that there was going to be an amazing life after that? No, but I know now. What I'm saying is that the things that happen in your life don't define you. How you handle them defines you. Kids, stop worrying about what and who you're not and focus on what and who you are. Like I said in the beginning, there are things that we all suck at, but everyone is good at something. Most of us are good at many things. When you find that something or those some things, master them. They're your gifts. God has plans for you to share your gift with other people, to impact their lives. The crap that you go through now can build the strength in your message because it builds the strength in your soul. Okay, the specific story that I wanted to tell you about, that I told you in the beginning, this was one of those stories that inspired this entire subject today. There's a young girl. She is incredibly brilliant. I have watched her grow up online. Her mom and I are Facebook friends. But it's been inspiring to watch these kids grow because they are incredibly brilliant. She was chosen for the Honor Society. For those of you who don't know what the Honor Society is, it's an organization that recognizes students who excel academically or as leaders among their peers, she wants to turn down this invite because of the stress and anxiety she has. She's afraid of not being perfect enough. She's focusing on what she's not. Perfect. None of us are perfect. But if she focuses on the amazing human that she is, she'll know that she's the perfect pick for the honor society. If she focuses on all the reasons she was chosen to be part of this, she wouldn't even think about all of the other noise because her awesomeness is the big picture. You know what else makes her amazing? She saw her friends bullying a boy on the bus. You know what she wants to do? She wants to inform others and educate them about autism so that they can understand better and they'll know how to respect, how to treat someone who is just slightly different and also know that they have a gift as well. That person that they're picking on has an amazing gift as well. So sometimes something big is put in front of us that makes us step way out of our comfort zone. It scares the crap out of us. All we see is that big, scary mountain. What we need to focus on is what's on the other side of that mountain. The most amazing things and the greatest growth happen outside of our comfort zone. My encouragement for you today is to grasp whatever that is that you're afraid of. Just feel the fear and do it anyway. Have you ever heard that? I don't know if I've ever said that on here, but I heard that phrase years ago, and I think about it all the time. When something makes me afraid, when something is like, something's really big, I'm like, ugh. And then there's this voice in my head that repeats that phrase, feel the fear, do it anyway, because that's going to push you to grow. I hope that this message today helped give you or someone else you know some sort of inspiration to push past that fear, conquer that mountain, get out of your comfort zone, and be amazing. Embrace your amazingness, because whatever it is, whatever your gift that you have in you, somebody's waiting for it. When I talk about going out and being able to serve others, that's what I'm talking about. Take that gift and go impact somebody's life because you've got it in you. We all have some sort of seed, some sort of gift in us that makes us amazing. So go out and go impact somebody else's life. Thank you for joining me today on the Unleashed podcast. My hope is that you leave this podcast feeling inspired, fired up, and ready to take the next step to living your dream life. And if you could do me a quick favor, please leave me a 5-star review over on iTunes. I love reading the reviews, and each week I'll choose one special person to win some Unleashed swag. Make sure you add your name to the review, and I'll reach out to you if you're the winner. Thanks again for spending your time with me today. Be sure to visit me at KristinaUnleashed.com for past episodes and more gifts to help you unleash the most successful version of you.